You know, when you shoot a lever action gun or a bolt action rifle, you bring up the next round mechanically yourself, don't you? And you lever it and bring up a new round, put it in the chamber and fire again. Maybe 5, 6, 8 times. Do you ever wonder about a semi-automatic or a fully automatic rifle like this M1A? You know, you've got big bolt that the cartridge activates somehow. You know, it loads, it reloads, puts another cartridge in. You can shoot it very fast. If it's fully automatic, it'll shoot really fast, won't it? So, some of you, not all of you of course, many of you know exactly what I'm talking about here, but some of you might be under the impression that it's the power of the cartridge, you know, the rearward motion of the actual case that's knocking that, you know, rearward, okay? Well, maybe with some guns it is. You know, the Benellis are going to have an inertial bolt, and you know, they work that way. Some of the Benelli shotguns, and I think even the rifles and everything. But many rifles, this one included, are gas operated. Have you ever thought about that very deeply? If you don't know, did you think there's a tank back here somewhere on the stock and you put you know, premium or regular gasoline in it? Pretty funny, huh? Well, they are gas operated, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, okay? In case you really don't know what that's all about, because it might be a little bit of a surprise to some people. A lot of you old shooters, it's not. Of course, you know exactly what we're talking about. Let's take this gun apart, and I'll show you, okay? I got to put some muscle behind this. Oh well, a little too much muscle, right? Okay, we're going to take the receiver off there. This is the old M1A. It's got the old stock on it, M14 stock actually. It's got the cutout for the selector switch, so it's an old M14 stock. Okay, so let's look at the guts of this gun. This is, of course, the gun and the trigger assembly. Now, we're not going to take it totally apart, but I'm going to show you something here that maybe you are not aware of. Do you realize, before I take it apart, there is a hole in the barrel, actually, generally on a gas-operated shotgun or rifle. A hole, yeah, you know there's a hole at the end of the barrel and a hole back here. There is a hole up here somewhere that on any, just about any semi-automatic rifle, that lets gas escape. And somehow that gas is used to work the bolt back here, all right? Well, how in the heck does that work? There are probably a few people who didn't know that. Well, there's a hole right in the barrel under here, and I'm going to show it to you. And when you fire the round bullet comes through the barrel, and when it's up here, of course, it has all this power, this gas behind it, right? Propellant, you know, pushing it, burning powder, lots of force, lots of pressure, pushing that bullet out. Well, at some point, the bullet is still in the barrel. It's right here, let's say. Well, then this barrel is full of incredible pressure, isn't it? Well, there's a little hole here that bleeds off some of that gas and uses that power, uses that energy to work the bolt. Let's see how it works. I'm going to take out the cylinder, gas cylinder plug here, and there is a gas piston in there. I'm going to dump out. Look at that. It's a piston just like in your engine, and that is what pushes against the operating rod. So I'm going to take this off here and show you. We'll just slide this up. Now, you might not have believed me, but there's an actual hole in the bottom of that barrel. Take a look at that. Somebody drilled a little bitty hole there. That's in the barrel. Goes right into the bore. Okay? It's not very big. It doesn't need to be because there's a lot of pressure. That's where the pressure is escaping from the barrel. Okay? Now, let's kind of look here what happens. Okay, let's get this back around. We'll kind of put it back together, and I'll show you how it works, more or less. So we're using the power from that fired cartridge. This is the piston. Okay, now what it's going to do, it's going to release that pressure. You know, the hole was in here. It's under my finger in there on the bottom of the barrel, and it gets into this gas cylinder, and it pushes this piston, just like your engine, more or less. It pushes it against this operating rod. See that? Oh man, that's great. It went in first time. Sometimes that piston, and you guys that are M14 fans or M1A fans, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's tricky to get it in there. One side of it's flat, and it only goes in one way, and it's a little tricky sometimes. But it's pushed against this and the operating rod. See, I'm actually working the operating rod. So it pushes it backward, picks up another round, brings it, chambers it. That's what happens. So the round is, say, right up here. The pressure is coming through that little bitty hole in there you can't see into this gas piston. It's pushing this piston, it's into the gas cylinder, and it's pushing this piston rearward against the operating rod, which is pulling the bolt back and picking up another round. That's what it is. It's not just the case here going off and pushing the bolt backwards. It's the gas coming back and operating the operating rod. And that's what happens. That's how it works.